I asked Megan what her favorite K-pop groups are besides 17.
Infinite and Soloist IU.
I love IU. She had a concert here in LA, yeah,
I
recently.
win.
Oh, you win! Nice! Oh my god.
Hello and welcome to the C-Suite Corner. I am your host, Hako,
And
joined
I'm Kia.
my co-host, and we are very happy to start this new podcast where we're going to bring you all the information you need to know for this community about entrepreneurship. We have a couple of amazing guests today, and we are very happy to have with us. So without further ado, we have Corey and Megan. How are you guys?
We're great. Thanks for having us.
Just so you know, this has been in the works for a long time. So we are very happy to have you guys here.
We're happy to be
And
here.
yeah, so you're here with a company that you guys started recently. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
Sure. So I just want to introduce Megan. So Megan is an MBA student. She also went to CSUN for undergrad, where she got her degree in computer science and minor in math. Is that correct? That's correct. And she graduated as a Wolfson Scholar. So
Wow.
she's very humble, but I'm going to toot her horn on this one. But one thing about Megan is that she is a huge K-pop stan. And that's something that I knew essentially from day one that I got to know her. So we're both in the MBA program. And, I was thinking like, it's kind of interesting. I kind of get like little glimpses of like what that community's like. And I knew that she was a group order manager. And I was like, huh, if she does this just for the love of the game, I'm sure that us as business students, we can find a way to serve our customers
Mm.
and also learn while doing it. And we've done just that with our business called Pop Soul.
Pop Soul. All right, how did you guys come up with that name? Because I think it's a cool name.
There were some iterations before
Yeah.
that we workshopped, but this is the one that had the best ring to it. It had a pop to it, if you will. And it was one that we can actually register the domain. Now we got a .net, but we didn't get the .com. But don't anyone park on that .com and raise the price.
So, what has been your favorite moment or experience since starting Pop Soul?
I really love the learning experiences that Pop Soul has afforded me. For instance, I'm much more motivated to finally get around to practicing drawing on my iPad to create my own fan-made designs. Although I have not dedicated as much time as I would like due to my busy schedule, I try to draw a bit during weekends. This is just one example of how valuable Pop Soul has been for me.
All right, and then since you're on that, how do you guys manage to be students while at the same time starting a business? Because that's, when I have two projects as a student, I'm already saying like I can't do this, I'm gonna quit. So how do you guys like manage to like that time? How do you divide yourself?
As a student with a part-time job, there is no usual routine I follow for managing Pop Soul. I usually make posts during the weekends when new items arrive and find time to draw designs here and there. Whenever we get a new order, my mom helps me pack it and send it out the next day.
When I was during the pandemic,
Mm.
we started like a company with my family, and that was like actually really cool, like a really cool experience because we got to like, well, fight because we never wanted to do anything. Like, things would come in and nobody wanted to do it. But it was also like something that, brought us together. So I feel like that's a plus. I don't know if you guys agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Can you, like, what unique challenges have you faced as an entrepreneur in the K-pop industry that maybe you didn't know that you were gonna have?
So I think that one of the difficulties that we had was just getting our name out there. So the thing about K-pop is that it's huge, and people already have sort of like their niches and where they go, And we wanted to get into the market. We need to make sure that we were able to kind of distinguish ourselves. So trying to find our voice has been important, and also just taking up space, you know. So I think we're doing a pretty good job of that. Things are going well for us, but sky's the limit.
How have you like adapted to try to cater to those specific audiences?
Yeah, so we have been more focused on the American consumer at the moment, just because we want to make sure that as business students, we're responsibly, following the laws when it comes to imports. There's taxes, things like that, tariffs. So right now we're just focused on the United States customer, and because Megan is such a big fan and she's already been doing group orders, she already has a pretty good understanding of like where the audience is, but also you can't really go after the whole K-pop market. You kind of have to pick and choose your battles. So I think that we've kind of focused, maybe coincidentally, on the groups that Megan's a stand for. So that'd be like 17. And so we kind of like focus on like a couple of them at the moment, and then who knows from there.
Are you going to the concert? Yeah.
Wait, there's a concert?
Yeah, soon. They just dropped a few weeks ago.
They're filling up so fast.
They are.
Like,
Yeah.
but how? Like, are they all sold out by now?
Yeah, I think they were sold out
Yeah.
by pre-sale. Yeah.
Like that's I find it interesting because I have no idea about K-pop if I'm being honest, but like it's such a big industry that sometimes surprises
Yeah.
people. So what has been like one thing about K-pop merchandise that surprises you, or that has been surprising in this process?
I think for us, the thing that's been surprising is how to deal with international distributors and just generally the complication that come from working with merchandise that isn't, a service or something that we can make ourselves. And we want to do it in a way that is, economical. We can make our own sleeves, our own photo cards, but they wouldn't be authentic. They'd be probably subpar to what you can find elsewhere. So for us, it's been formulating like what the right product mix is, and also where we can get it from at a reasonable rate. So a lot of learning outside of the classroom, but also applying a lot of the things that we have learned.
Nice. So how do you think you select and curate your products for consumers?
Given that we are fans, we can anticipate what fans would like, and we try to have it for them as soon as possible. Through our distributors, we have created a relationship where we get a sneak peek on what kind of products are in production, which helps us project our inventory needs. Additionally, there are so many K-pop groups that we focus on 17, so we can focus on a specific niche of the K-pop fandom.
Following that, you mentioned something about the niche market. What advice would you give to other aspiring entrepreneurs looking to start a business in a niche market?
I think for us, it's to build your network. So I think CSUN is an amazing place to build that network because we're surrounded by, me and Megan met here in classes. So that's one thing. So your classmates you learn a lot from, but the faculty are also amazing, and then the staff too. So there's so many resources out there that what's important is to just reach out and create that network.
I asked Megan what her favorite K-pop groups are besides 17.
Infinite and Soloist IU.
I love IU. She had a concert here in LA, yeah, recently. Oh, you went! Nice! Oh my god. Was it fun? Yeah! So like branching off of that, are there any collaborations you feel like you would want to do in the future with maybe smaller artists or more new artists? I know sometimes like when a group first debuts, they reach out to like local like social media stars and they do a collab of some sort. Do you have like a dream collaboration you would want to do?
I want to collab with IU, since she's my old lol and the reason I got into K-pop, so it would be unbelievable to collaborate with her on any project.
Yeah, I love that. So, what is one piece of advice you would give to new entrepreneurs who are just entering, not specifically towards the K-pop scene, but like in general?
I would say in addition to making your network, is to always chase rabbit holes. Now, that might seem like folly in a lot of ways, but you never know what opportunities can lead to unless you follow them. So we've heard it from a lot of our mentors here at CSUN. It's been true. Like sometimes the last opportunity you think is going to pan out turns out to be the one that saves your bacon. So be spunky, try everything you can.
And going off of that, is this your first attempt at building a company, or have you tried to do something else? What has been that learning curve like?
I think that because we were both in the MBA program, I think we've probably idly thought about creating our own businesses, but it's very intimidating to start one. You know, it's like, I don't want to mess up and, you know, be in tons of debt. So let's do the programs first. And I think Megan's the one that has the most experience with that, being the group order manager. So even though she didn't do it for profit, she still had a lot of the activities that we do today with Pop Soul.
Okay.
So she kind of developed that through there. And I sort of glommed onto that. But I think that we've all kind of had our own little ideas of making businesses here and there.
Okay. So you had already kind of started the company when Corey came in, or like, you know, you started ordering things, right? Way before, so you already knew kind of like the market and everything, and then Corey came and
Megan's really the guiding force of Pop Soul. You know, I normally wouldn't be listening to K-pop music, but you know, I can really appreciate the fandom and enthusiasm that, you know, the stands have, and it's really infectious to be around someone like Megan that has such a passion for it.
Do you have any like very memorable or like stories behind the scenes with like production or your journey so far?
I think for me, one of the best moments was when we talked to the entrepreneurship board here at CSUN, and we got affirmation that the path that we're going seems to be, you know, good for us, and then they thought it was a worthwhile endeavor too. You know, it was really nice to, you know, have something that we create ourselves and find that other people are resonating with it. And not only that, but they're able to graciously give us a grant that allowed us to really take off like rocket fuel with that support. And we are where we're at today because of that support.
Including with that grant, you're also in the process of doing the CSUN Funder, right? Is that opening anytime soon, or?
Yeah, our hope is to have that open in December with, I believe that the time period it'll end is in January, but we're in the process of submitting everything for that, so be on the lookout.
Yay, promo.
And I feel like I've always wanted to have my own business. Someday I'll maybe create one. But as you were saying, it's so intimidating that, you know, I have an idea. They're usually not great ideas, if I'm being honest. But I have an idea, and then I'm like, okay, let's watch Instagram. And I go back because I'm like so scared. I don't know where to start. So like, what was the first thing you did to start this business? Was it like the logo? Was it I don't even know. What was the first thing you guys did?
So I think that it started with Megan and hearing her journey as the group order manager. And then, you know, this is what happened was I was on a walk thinking to myself, like, I wonder if this could be a business. And I was like, do I want to like bug Megan and say like, hey, here's like this big task that we should do. But I was like, you know, I'm just going to take that jump, that leap of faith, and message her and see if she'd be interested in it. And I was very pleased that she had a very enthusiastic response, and it just went from there. So it was just a matter of making that leap of faith and just going for it.
Megan, what did you think when Corey came in with that idea?
I think he was joking at first till he registered the business.
Wait, so it was directly to register the business? What?
So I think what was happening there is that, you know, there's a lot of idle talk about starting a business. And when does it become a business? It's when you start registering it. So I think that's when things became official.
Okay, yeah. It's like when you're planning a trip with your friends and you're like, let's go to Madrid and then Barcelona, and
Believe
then
it when
you-
they buy the
yeah.
tickets.
Yeah, or it starts. To me, it starts when they. No, actually, no. I was gonna say when they start a group chat, but I have a bunch of group chats of.
Megan and I have 1 million group chats together because we're in so many groups for our classes that at this point,
That's true.
what matters is when you register the business.
That's true.
Where did you register the business? Is that like an online process or?
Yeah, so I think that this is a nice thing for CSUN entrepreneurs in general to know is that it's a lot easier than you think to register your own business. You don't have to like go out and spend a bunch of money to do so. You can go onto the California, I believe it's the Secretary of State, I believe's website, and you pay. It has a fee, but thankfully I think it's only in the double digits, not the triple digits, and you can register it, and from there you're kind of off to the races. There's a lot of resources online, and really you can reach out to your faculty members, and there's a bunch of folks all over CSUN that are happy to give you perspective and guidance. We've been very lucky that we've been working with Tim Tiemann, who's been a great guide for us along the way.
Is there a specific resource you guys feel is like very integral to building a business? Or our favorite, our favorite one?
I think there's nothing that beats a face-to-face like interaction with someone that believes in you. It's one thing to like read, things online, and like, hey, just start your own business. But it's another one to work with someone that dedicates their time and volunteers that time to help you. That really shows you that there's an ecosystem of support that we can benefit from, but also we're hoping to also give back to.
Do you agree?
Now, a huge part of your business, well, from what I hear, was getting that grant. Now you have to do some Shark Tank pitches, I guess, or presentations to, different people that were, gonna give you this. Like, what was that process like? Were you guys scared or well, not scared maybe, but nervous? What was that like?
I think there's always nerves when it comes to something that's such high stakes. This was going to be our first like official presentation, but one of the benefits of the MBA program is that if you do have any nerves about presenting, you get rid of those real quick because you're presenting a lot, and that's a good thing because you don't really learn unless you're uncomfortable. So for us, we saw it as an opportunity rather than a scary thing. You don't get these very often, so be excited, be grateful for the opportunities, and just do as best as you can because that's the best you can do.
Was it like Shark Tank? Or
I would say it's more supportive than Shark Tank.
More supportive.
And I think everyone there was a Mr. or Mrs. Wonderful. So
Okay.
yeah, it was a lot more supportive than a Shark Tank, but it's still one where you want to make sure that you impress and show you've done your homework. So the last thing you want to do is come unprepared or without really putting the thought in. It's so easy to be an ideas person. To be an entrepreneur, it's changing those from being ideas to being actions and services and goods.
Do you have any advice for like people who want to also pitch their ideas?
I would want them to have confidence in the idea that they are pitching, since if you don't have it, no one will believe in that and support you.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So for our last question before we head on to Hakobo segment, so where do you see Pop Soul in the next maybe 3 to 5 years? Do you see this growing bigger than it is right now?
Our goal is to create a physical store within the Northridge area.
Oh, I would love that.
We think our enthusiasm and experiences as a collector will be a differentiator between us and other brick-and-mortar stores that don't cater nearly as closely as we do to our customers' needs. Also, we hope to start producing more house-branded products, such as our photo card sleeves that we will hold to a high-quality standard and sell for a reasonable price.
Please do, because the only K-pop store I know of in Northridge is the one at the mall, and it's very small and not very inclusive. I think it's really only BTS merch in there, so yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, BTS. That's about. Sorry, don't hate me, but that's about how much I know about K-pop. That and Squid Game.
There's so much more that you'll see just on billboards that you drive by.
Mm.
K-pop's becoming more and more of a phenomenon.
Oh, definitely. No, now I feel left out like all the time because every
Jump
time
on
it's
a board
K-pop.
now. There's not a better time.
That is true. That is true. It's just not. I feel like it's a lot. But maybe not. Maybe I will. I do have like it's incredible what they've done. I've just like I remember a couple of years ago I started researching for one of my classes and how K-pop just came out of nowhere and started this trend so successfully with with South Korea's government help, with that investment. Of course, it's not only that, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think that even when I was an undergrad, way back in the days, K-pop was still, pretty popular, but not as popular as it is today. But I think that this is really a moment for South Korea. Not only is it in the music that they're really thriving, but also in movies with movies like Parasite that won an Academy Award, and that's in Korean. So that means the American audience member is reading subtitles, and they're doing it, and they're enjoying the movie, which is special.
Yeah.
And then you have TV shows like you mentioned, Squid Games, which is a phenomenon. So I think that this is, a great time for Korean media. And I think
Yeah.
that there's no better time to jump on board.
And you guys are living the dream.
Choo-choo.
You got on the train, I think, in one of the best times possible.
And Megan's the conductor, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm shoveling the coal.
Shuffling the coal. I hope you get a lot of, people that get on the train
We hope so too.
can experience all that what you guys are doing. Are you guys both doing it by yourselves? What's your team look like right now?
I think our core team would be myself and Megan, and Megan's mother, who's also a great help to us in being able to help us send out packages. But also we have a contractor who does some of our web coding, and his name is Jonathan Gomez. And he's a CSUN alum, and he was actually one of Megan's classmates. So we keep it in the family.
That's
But
good.
I think that we would consider your team has many levels. So there's like the core team, and then we have like family and then friends too. And it keeps growing. So I would consider that the Pop Soul team includes like all of our faculty members and staff members that have helped us along the way too.
Mm. That's a good way to put it. That's a great way to put it. All right, moving on. We have a segment that we're gonna switch microphones. Did you see that switch? That was so smooth. I know. I am a very tech savvy. So, we have this section of the show that we like to call ping pong. Like, you see that? Did you see that? It's a ping pong racket. Okay, sorry. So, basically, it's quick fire questions. Okay, we ask questions if you can answer in one
One or two words.
maybe a sentence, or else we'll stop you and you start yelling. Okay? All right. The same thing. It's not time based because the power of editing. All right. Ping
Pong,
with
Pop Soul,
names.
Corey, Megan.
Favorite TV show that highlights a business.
So Mad Men, and the reason why is that even though the characters aren't necessarily the best role models, I learned a lot about marketing and generally how to talk about a product and sell it to a consumer.
Wow. I would have never made that connection. Like that's very MBA. MBAs. Okay. Favorite character with entrepreneurial mindset.
So this is an unconventional one, but Willy Wonka.
Oh.
And not only does he live in a world of pure imagination, but he's able to share that with other people and be inventive in doing so. I think that being an entrepreneur is being inventive and serving the customer while doing it.
That's also a good one. That's also a good
Answers.
one.
We're so conventional. I'm so conventional. I feel so conventional now. Okay. Favorite business TV show?
Hmm. I didn't really think about that one. I think I think I'll say that the obvious one would be The Office, potentially, but that's one that maybe a lot of people are going to say. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've maybe seen 3 episodes of it, so I'm the worst millennial. But I think that given the years that I've been in an office, a lot of the things that I've seen are true.
Yeah? Okay. Sorry about that. We just had this Michael Scott. We're big fans of The Office here. Okay, but
They are.
yeah. The 3 times that I've stepped on an office, I get a lot of that. So
Coming from, I went to school for biochemistry at UCLA, graduated in 2011, worked in offices ever since, and there's a reason why that's resonant to a lot of millennials and other folks, because a lot of it's true.
alright. Well, following that, favorite business TV character?
Let me try. Maybe I'll just pop off of the Michael Scott bit and say Michael Scott, because you can learn a lot from what not to do. So I think that sometimes it's important to create teachers, even though they're not conventionally teachers. You can learn something from everyone. And even if you get like assignments that you would say are not fun, something that I do is I think about what's the lesson I can learn from it. If I have a professor that maybe I don't jive with, how can I learn from their lesson here? Maybe I'm going to do more studying on my own. I think everyone could be a teacher if you change your mindset.
That was good. I was gonna say Cosmopolitan.
That'd be good too.
Technically, they are in a business. They're in the
Oh,
very
yeah.
business. They make dreams come true.
Jimmy's very lucky.
Yes, he is. I wish we had Fairly Odd
Yeah.
Do you want to shout out a startup that you love or follow?
OS Magic Shop, which focuses on lightstick stickers to display on your car, along with other stickers. She has been open to giving me advice from the very beginning and suggested also selling on Etsy.
I asked this before, but we'll just ask it again for the sake of ping pong. But who is your old groups? You can say more than one if you want.
17 and Infinite, while my favorite soloist is IU.
I love Infinite. If you could work with one artist in K-pop, who would it be?
IU.
And then for the last one, what kind of products do you guys have?
So the product mix that we have is a mix of photo cards, albums, and then sleeves. And as we move forward, we're hoping to expand that to maybe wands and other items too. But it really depends upon what really strikes our fancy at the time and what sells too. Because really, what we're focused on is selling things that the fans want. So they're the ones that kind of steer the ship.
I think a big thing right now is definitely plushies or like the photo card holders that are, because most K-pop stars are associated with like an animal of some sort. So fans make a lot of plushies that are kind of designed in their likeness. So maybe that's something you guys can
Actually,
do. Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned that because we create our own item, which was washi tape that we commissioned a friend of mine who's an artist
Yes.
to make, and it has little caricature versions of a specific group, and it was a fun endeavor for us.
Oh, that's so great. Which group? So is it 17?
You guessed it.
Oh my god. Plushie, what are those?
Plushies, they're like little like dolls, like the stuffed dolls. Yeah.
Oh, okay. About the tapes?
And then washi tape is sort of like decorative tape that you can put over like collages and things like that.
Oh.
It's just a fun thing to put around borders and journals.
It's like
Okay.
journaling,
I
bullet
think I've
journals.
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of K-pop stans are usually into like journaling, especially with their concert like pictures and stuff.
Wait.
Like they take mementos from concerts, like whether it be, I know I could like confetti after concerts. I take the
Oh,
wristbands and then you
wow,
make
okay.
collages with
Ticket.
everything, the ticket. Yeah. That's why a lot of people print out the ticket.
All right. Well, I think that's all the time we've got. So thank you so much for coming, Corey, Megan. It was amazing. I had a lot of fun. Anything that you guys have going on that you want to shout out?
Yeah, we'd like to shout out our website, which is popsoul.net. And also, we encourage folks to reach out to the entrepreneurship program here at CSUN, because there are a lot of opportunities and resources available to you. And then we'd like to shout out our Instagram, which is popsoul_official.
All right. Well, without further ado, this was C-Suite Corner. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.